Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge news. Really, really important, and a complete paradigm change in terms of how things are going to be done in Congress. The investigators are going to be investigated. The people who leveled investigations at Trump and Scott Perry, for example, the Freedom Republican leader. Okay, a different word you can use, but I'll just say the Freedom Republicans, the majority of the 20 people who opposed McCarthy were from his division, let's say, of the Republican Party. Trump Republicans run the House of Representatives now, but here, House Freedom leader sees better days under McCarthy, Politico. But this is really, really important. House GOP zeroes in on January panel documents. And this is the most important issue we'll talk about. GOP Representative Scott Perry won't recuse himself from investigating January panel probe that looked into him. What Kinzinger and Cheney and Democrats did is they investigated everyone, they recommended indictments in the last moments of their tenure in the House of Representatives, knowing very well that the Justice Department didn't have a case. The First Amendment protects political speech. End of story. The First Amendment protects political speech. There are laws already protecting people from words. These laws predate Twitter, by the way, and the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats who don't like certain words. Okay, if you break the law, if you encourage somebody to commit a crime, you will go to jail. End of story. If they can't prove that and it's a public relations stunt, then you get what we saw for 2 years with Cheney and Kinzinger and Democrats. Oh, Trump tried to take control of a limousine. He threw his dinner at the wall. Oh my God. Well, now we're going to find out the declassified documents that government officials did not, or Democrats did not want you to know about. Okay? So they should have indicted either Trump or top officials around Trump, Scott Perry, if they didn't want to be investigated themselves. You cannot level the United States government and have willing participants also accusing Trump and everyone around him of everything under the sun in these testimony, like congressional testimony that is sensationalized by media and pundits, and then come up empty. You can't do that. All of this was done to convince millions of Americans that Trump was a criminal without ever proving it in a court of law. Now, with Hunter and Hillary and others, and I think Hillary's going to be a 24 nominee, that's just me, but I also told you crypto would crash, the stock market would tank, it did, that Clinton would lose to Trump in 2016, in the Hill, the Huffington Post Salon, other publications, by the way, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. every morning on this channel. God bless you if you're a Democrat, Republican, socialist, communist, conservative. If you're watching this channel, God bless you and have a beautiful and safe and wonderful and joyful and prosperous 2023. Hit subscribe. This is very, very, very interesting, and we'll get to the fact that the investigators are going to be investigated by the people who weren't indicted, but accused of everything under the sun. To my Patreons, thank you so much. My Patreon link is below in the description section. And, your support is greatly appreciated. I'm an independent, completely independent content creator. We're over 203,000 subscribers. We are going to be 204,000 very soon. If you want to become part of a newsletter, go to hagoodman.com, and then you can read my writing and a whole bunch of publications. To my super thank you, and become a member of this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, McCarthy is going to release declassified documents pertaining to the January investigation, pertaining to the Mar-a-Lago raid, pertaining to every federal probe into Trump. And there were numerous ones, okay? Possibly also, the Durham probe is going to come out with a report, and then that will be investigated also. They're going to impeach Biden That's certain. And you have McCarthy is going to, Kevin McCarthy, he faces a battle tonight. So the rules package will be voted on this evening. Okay. So that should be interesting. I did a lot of videos on that yesterday evening, but I'll keep you updated as to what takes place. Definitely check out the segments I did yesterday. But what they don't want you to know is even more important than what they publicized and got media to hyperventilate about. Okay, so when you accuse Trump for 2 years of trying to, you'd have to be a complete imbecile, and I'm going to try to be more, I'm going to try not to express, you'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe that Donald Trump tried to, let's say, overthrow, if you could believe that, the United States government. Okay, you'd have to be completely, you have to despise him 24/7 and not see anything good, from record low poverty in 2019 to record highs in household median income in 2019 and the beginning of his last year in office before Democrats and bureaucrats and media and the highly educated and officials pushed to tank the U.S. economy, shut down economic activity, and then, of course, pretend that they never tried to do that gleefully. But anyway, he never tried to, they use a word that is not accurate. It's not even accurate from a legal perspective because they didn't indict him. And they did so hiding information about possible people that were possibly involved. And I'll just leave it at that were perhaps linked to the government, according to Ted Cruz and others. Okay? When Ted Cruz asked the Federal Bureau of Investigation representative how many agents, the person said, I'm not at liberty to discuss. It wasn't none. Okay? And so that's a problem. When you know that government agencies are siding with the Democratic Party, when you know now that Twitter files showed that you have a serious issue with government getting involved with free speech and the First Amendment, and Democrats teaming up with government agencies to silence 250,000 conservative accounts, that's a big problem. That's a big, huge problem. And growing up, this would be unheard of. This would be unheard of. You could voice your political viewpoint even if people thought the viewpoint or the opinion was atrocious. Nowadays, you have a machine leveled against one political side, and still half the electorate votes for Trump. Do you understand what's going on here? Half the electorate, almost half the electorate, okay, almost half the electorate votes for Trump. Almost half. But that is with the system completely favoring one vantage point. Everybody from you can't go to bed at night without Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert telling you how terrible Republicans are. And you can't wake up in the morning without CNN, MSNBC, and the Washington Post and the New York Times talking about how democracy is, under, this siege from the Orange Menace. And Hollywood, music industry, robots and artificial intelligence, algorithms prevent discussion, debate, dialogue, and discourse. And still, Republicans won the House of Representatives because the economy stinks. The economy stinks. And Mitch McConnell is the reason that he didn't fund the Adam Laxalt or Blake Masters or Don Bolduc in New Hampshire. He didn't fund these candidates and instead chose to fund Lisa Murkowski when she was going up against a Republican. You were assured of a Republican in Alaska, but that Republican was a Trump Republican, so oh my God. let others in very, very close contests lose. So, and you can see McConnell, Democrats rally around somebody in Pennsylvania who couldn't communicate. He communicated when Fetterman was speaking to, debating Oz. It was like watching Yoda speak if Yoda was an alcoholic. I mean, run-on sentences, two different sentences combined with a question mark at the end, and it's just so bizarre. Okay, closed caption must have been, very interesting during that debate. But Democrats rallied around Fetterman. They didn't care. They'll rally around Biden. They'll do what they're told anytime, always, because they don't. It's not about candidate quality. It's about a machine. The person is a Democrat. If Liz Cheney was a pro-life Democrat and won the Democratic nomination, those millions of 4 million sub-pundits would still say, hey, vote for Liz Cheney. They would not vote Democrat. They would never not vote Democrat. Okay? You could put a house plant or house cat or a plant, a fern. They'll still vote. They'll rally around, circle the wagons, and they will vote for, it doesn't matter if they're speaking in tongues, the candidate, they're going to vote for the person, no matter what. But with Herschel Walker or Adam Laxalt or Blake Masters, candidate quality. What? And then Mitch McConnell, when the Republicans won the primaries, he said, candidate quality. So anyway, he undermined the Senate. But we all know that. That being said, the House of Representatives is the greatest prize of all. You have investigations, impeachment, and the investigators will be investigated. Scott Perry, by the way, will not recuse himself, nor should he. And simply being accused by Democrats of committing a crime without them having to prove it in a court of law shouldn't make anyone recuse himself or herself from any investigation of those who, for no reason, or I should say for political incentive and motivation, investigated their rivals. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. This is huge because declassified documents will paint a very different story, almost certainly, on a number of topics. Be here at 11 a.m., everybody. Today is going to be an important day politically. The rules package is being voted on this evening, and we'll talk about that. Also, Jim Jordan is replacing Jerry Nadler. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that at 11 a.m. Pacific on this channel. Thank you, everyone.